I was raised in a home by good moral parents. They both always said that they were saved at a young age, but as we grew up, we never went to church except for funerals and things like that. They never drank or did things that are considered bad. They raised us up to be good people. When I reached about the age of 16, I guess, I started to experiment with drugs and alcohol, and as I got older, I got more and more into that. Never even considered going to church. When I was 23, I got married to Emily, and not long after that, we had a child, Justin. And as he grew, I kept doing the same things that I'd been doing before. It didn't really change me a lot having a child in my life. When he got about 6 or 7, some friends of ours who went to church regular started inviting him to come to Vacation Bible School, and we would take him and drop him off in the parking lot, and then we'd go back home. And he had such a good time at Vacation Bible School that he wanted to start going to church on Sunday mornings. So we did it the same way. We would drop him off at the church, and it got to the point that we were so guilty about it that the church we was going to had a bottom parking lot, so we'd drop him off at the bottom so we wouldn't have to pull up to the top, you know, and visit with all the church people there. As Justin had started going to church, the church would send out a visitation team every once in a while to come by and visit with Justin, and they would never fail to talk to us and invite us to come to church. And I guess that's why we felt so guilty when we would drop Justin off, is because we knew that all the excuses people had given us for not going to church, about people being hypocrites and stuff like that, you know, I guess we could see through them that that wasn't true, that there were good people there, that they were friendly, and you know, they always greeted you with a smile, and you really had no excuse for not being there with him. After a while, Emily decided that she would just start going with him and taking him. And just after a few months of going, she got saved and baptized. She would invite me to go with her every Sunday, you know, but she never pressured me to go. She would just ask, do you want to go today? And most of the time I'd say no. I was big into fishing, and most of the time on Sunday, that's where I was at, was down at the lake. If I was going to go to church, I didn't want to be one of the hypocrites that I had always heard was in the church. It was an excuse that I had heard people use for not going. My thing is I wanted to clean myself up before I started going to church so that I wouldn't fall into that category. But after I started going to Sunday school a few times and some worship services, God opened my eyes to the fact that even if I cleaned myself up, I still had those stains of sin from the things that I had done in the past, and I couldn't get rid of those myself. I realized after several months of going to church that the only way to get rid of those sins was to put my faith in what Christ had done on the cross. I was in church service one morning, and I think God had already been tugging at my heart for a while, and one morning I gave in. I knew that I was saved when I left the church service that day, because I had prayed by myself in the pew and asked God to forgive me, and told him that I wanted him to take over my life and lead me the rest of the way through. So when I left that day, I was saved. The next Sunday we made it public. I went down to the front and told everybody I'd been saved, which most everybody knew it by then because my wife called everybody that Saturday and told them. But I got baptized, and God has allowed me to do things since then that I never thought I'd do.
Hear the sound of the nations calling.